Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. I hope that you still have a patience for that, but let's talk today about the business critical application on your organization. Most of the business application today, they became quite critical and they are the motor for your firms. But did you ask your organization the question, do the organization protect them, secure this application? Today, Cyberark will I'm sorry, as a presenter, I'm going to tell you how Cyberark exactly protect your application. So as most of you heard, there are a lot of breaches, a lot of compromised organization during the years. By the way, 2 weeks ago we had something in Malta, two days after we had something in Mexico, and yesterday one of the biggest cybersecurity in Israel were compromised. So most of the compromises were done by privileged credentials. Privileged credentials, the meaning that the user and the password of specific user with higher permission were used in order to compromise, in order to breach the organization. You can see a lot of examples here, but in the end of the day, we talk about lateral movement. What is the meaning of lateral movement? One of the standards that Microsoft say that in every organization you have 3 levels. The first one is the endpoint, the second one is the server, and the third one is the domain controller. The lateral movement, the meaning that once the attacker attacked the organization with the user password, with the credentials, he started to run the lateral movement in the organization until he will have the keys of the kingdom. And then the organization is shutting down. One of the basically, Cyberark mission is to manage all these credentials, all these privileged accounts. Once you protect them, you definitely protect your advanced cyber threat and you limit them. A little bit about Cyberark. Cyberark was established in 1999 by 3 persons, Udi Mukadi, Chen Bitan, and Ron Zoran. It was a published company. It became a published company in 2014, a value of $500 million. 5 years after, we are more than $4 billion, or around the $4 billion, more than 1,200 as employees, 3 main headquarters, 1 in Tel Aviv, second one in Boston, the third one in UK. 500 people are from the R&D based in Israel, so around 95% of the development is Israeli-based development. If we are talking about customers, more than 4,400 customers worldwide. In terms of references, 10 years ago, we were quite strong in the financial market and the government market. But let's say that since the acquisition, or since that we became the IPO, Cyberark is quite strong in almost every vertical. If you are talking about manufacturing, telecom, IT services, insurance, banks, energy, you name it, we are there and we are strongly there. Where exactly Cyberark positioned in the market of PAM? In last December 2018, Gartner released the first Magic Quadrant for the PAM. The PAM, the meaning the Privileged Access Management. Cyberark were chosen as the leader company on this market, not only as a visionary company with a huge roadmap and where exactly to know where exactly we are going, but in addition as an executed company. We know that in order to run this kind of solution, you need to have some change in your mind, and I will talk about this solution in a minute. The main question is, are the applications that run in your business are also your Achilles heel in the age of Industrial 4.0? Many years ago, let's say 10, 15 years ago, most of the processes were quite manually. But with the digital transformation, we see that most of the industrial processes become quite automated. And then, once it's become automated, it definitely depends on the IT department. And then, it's a big question, what's happened if you don't protect this application? Cyberark provide different solutions for that. The first one is called Core Privilege Security. The meaning that we provide we provide you a solution that not only protect your organization, but will give you some different features, which I will talk in a minute. Basically, once the traditional connection, the users will connect to their target directly. Use the password. I will send the user and password to the platform. Again, the platform could be switch, router, database, application, web application, you name it. Once you make the connection, the user is there, and on the traditional way, we can use different repository, Excel file, KeyPass, and so on. With Cyberark, we provide you a solution, a secured solution, which gives you the ability to have an isolated session, monitoring, and a real-time recording. Definitely, last year we talked about how exactly with these features we give you the GDPR protection, but this is one of the things that we have. But in addition to that, we are talking about a secured jump server or secured proxy server that allow you to make the connection to Cyberark. So once the user would like to make the connection to the target, again, the target could be any device, any switch, routers, firewall, and so on, application, web application. So once we make this connection, the first connection will be done in several different ways. Why we did it? Because we would like to keep the user experience. The first opportunity is to connect through Cyberark web pages you can see on the left side. But in addition to that, as I mentioned, in order to keep the user experience, you can use any remote desktop manager. You can use a secure CRT, a PATI, but then you just need to put the string of Cyberark jump server. Once you make this connection, the user will have a list of accounts that he can connect. Let's assume that the database developer would like to connect to his servers. So the list of servers will be here. The user will just click on the connect button, and then the connection will go through Cyberark PSM, through the session manager, and then it will go to Cyberark Vault. Then we have all the user password located there. The password will be directly injected to the target, and we will close the session between the end user to Cyberark jump server, and from Cyberark jump server to the targets. So you have two different sessions. One of them again is between the user and the vault, and from the vault to the target. As you can see here, we will definitely block any malware. Just imagine that the end user have infected the desktop or something like that. So everything will remain on the end user side. From Cyberark to the target, everything will be totally isolated, recording and monitoring. One more important thing that we provide, it's something that I didn't talk before, but it's the PTA. It's the Privileged Threat Analytics. This is giving you, it's like a machine learning on each of user that you have in your organization that's using Cyberark, of course, and is learning how exactly the user is working. So let's assume that the user is connecting every day between 8 to 6, and suddenly we see different connection at midnight. We can definitely terminate the session. We can definitely block the session, send a WhatsApp message, SMS message, and so on. This is one of the things that we provide. Very important to mention that we have integration with more than 3,500 applications. So it's make your life easier once you are using Cyberark solution. The second solution that we provide called Endpoint Privilege Manager. The Endpoint Privilege Manager gives you three main features. The first one is list privilege management. The second one is the application control. And the third one is the credential theft. What is the meaning of privilege management? It's give you the ability to remove your admin rights from the desktop. Again, we are talking about, I didn't mention before, but we are talking about Microsoft and Mac. And for servers, for Microsoft, it's servers and desktop. And for Mac, we are talking about desktop only. So once we remove these admin rights, we still want to keep part of the things available. So we are creating a policy that could be, again, this policy could be allocated to different users, different OUs, and so on. The second feature, it's called application control. A lot of companies doing the same in the application control about whitelist and blacklist, but in addition to that, we had something that's called gray list. So let's assume, that something, suddenly the IT manager, the security bring a new agent to this team, a new application. and suddenly the development guys have an issues. So in order not to stuck their day-by-day work, we have a gray list. Then we can say, okay, you can download this specific application, you can connect to this specific area, but on a restricted mode, meaning that you can limit their steps in the organization once they are downloading or they are using something that is not part of the whitelist or the blacklist. And the last one is the credential theft protection. I believe that most of us are connecting today to our webpage, putting the user password there. So based on Cyberark solution, based on the APM, we can protect this user password. Very important to mention that this solution, again, was developed by Cyberark, but before we purchased two companies. One of them is called Viewfinity. The second one is called Cyberark, and we had our own features, and then we call this solution EPM. The last one called DevOps, Security Management, it's called Conjure. Today we see on the that there are a lot of hard-coded passwords. Not only had hard-coded, but you know, all the application became quite dynamic. If you are talking about CI/CD, if you are talking about AWS, all the application in AWS, the environment, everything become quite dynamic. Once you have a lab on AWS, you create it and they destroy it day after day. So in order to protect the password in this area, we are using Cyberark Conjure solution. You just need to put Cyberark string there, and we will take and we will rotate we will protect the password, we will rotate the password, and so on. I know that I'm limited on time, so I will try to do it quickly. One of the things that we did in the last several months, due to the fact that we have a huge visibility on the market, if we talked about the Fortune 500, the Fortune 100, we started to send questionnaire to the customer to ask them, okay, has your organization faced any incident over the last 24 months? 56% mentioned that yes, they did. I believe that we have more than that. You know, sometimes organizations do not want to say that we were breached, but 56% said yes, we were breached. Then the second question was, did you protect your application? So most of the organizations said, my organization give equal priority to protection of all application and infrastructure. This is something that you need to see behind the lines. They gave the same equal priority to the application and the infrastructure. Do you think that organization, that most of the things there, like a bank, most of the application is quite critical to give the same priority to the infrastructure and to the application? This is a good question, and we believe that based together with Cyberark, you definitely can protect your organization. Last slide about Cyberark. We are doing a lot of assessment to our customer and to our prospect. In GitHub or through our guys today that are located in the booth, we provide a free of charge tools like Zbang, Pass Assessment, and DNA. These tools can give you a lot of information regarding your organization for free. You can run it. We will provide you the license. The DNA, it's called Discovery and Auditing Tool, which give you the face, what exactly happened with the privilege account. You will see which which privilege accounts you have in an organization, which of them are being managed in terms of password rotation and so on. It's a quite cool tools. We will be more than happy to share it with you. Please feel free. I know this is the end of the day and we are in the end of the event, but we are there. We are still in the booth. So come and feel free and we will be more than happy to help you. Thank you and have a great afternoon.